Hi, I'm dwayneduguay201. Gigantopithecus Bigfoot flavor is what I call my handle. I thought I'd share another video. The videos that I have shared, there were pictures, videos that I shared. It's not all the story. A long time ago, over something like 30 years ago, I was cutting some trees that I noticed that there was activity in. And I noticed there was a tree break, and so I knew about Jake because I was watching over him and his babies, and it seemed like I'd always catch babies up in the tree by the corner of my eye. And so if I didn't look directly at the tree and I looked like just off to the side, and I could still see like a part of a vision over here and just stay still, I was able to watch the baby. And it was pretty cool because there was a hole at the bottom, a very dark hole, lower than where the baby was on top. So the hole was over here. So I knew the mother was around, and I was watching the baby up in the tree, and I could see the baby putting his arm up and then putting his arm down, putting it up and then putting it down, and like teasing whoever's around, like meaning like come down. And then I guess the baby was like, it didn't really want to, so I just kept on watching it. So I was aware about it. And time went by, and I did find Jake's tree break, and I didn't see Jake coming out and just coming out and being around. He would just hide and come out like when it was dark and or when it was raining. He'd come out a bit, and I knew about where he was. And so what I did one day is I went there and I cut up his tree break in small pieces. And later on that day, like this is 30 years ago, I was with a buddy, and we were having like a discussion about this tree, which way it's gonna go, and is it gonna fall like this way or this way? And the guy wanted it to go down this way, and I said no, it's gonna go down this way. And so we argued, and I said, well, let's try to make it go this way because it makes more sense. Gravity's going to pull it there. But the tree was so rotten. Uh, it was dangerous, and it was dangerous being there. It was dangerous cutting it. It was dangerous attempting anything. So it was kind of like an argument. And what ended up is I cut like he mentioned, and I cut like I thought firstly it was going to work, but the tree ended up not going this way or that way. It ended up going that way, like, and it fell down into a ravine. And when it landed, it made a huge bang, and the ground shook a bit. I had told my buddy, I said, "Oh, I knocked that Bigfoot out." So, anyways, it was just a funny comment for him because he hasn't seen Bigfoot before. So what I did was I trimmed up a little bit around there, and I didn't have to touch that big tree because it fell in the ravine. But I felt like there was activity possibly there, and I mentioned that out loud. And once Buddy took off, it's a whole different world when you're alone. And what happened was all of a sudden all the trees and the wind and the ground started shaking, and the group arrived. And I wasn't sure what was going on at the time, but that's why I took my very first picture of Bog Dog. Anyhow, with the tree break being all cut up in that at that time, Jake came out after my buddy had left, and I was walking towards the tree break and the trailer, and well, I guess by the corner of my eye, I could see him walking out of the bush. I thought, holy crap, like he's actually out. He's coming out. And so it kind of shocked me a bit. I went straight to go into the trailer and give him his space. Then I watched him go by the truck, and then I sat down in the trailer and thought, okay, well, what am I going to do here? And he went to the tree break, not alone. He was with someone else, a little bit smaller than him. And there was a pile that I had created with the pieces of the tree break, and he just flicked it around like it was some kind of dirty laundry. And so that he knew that I was interacting with him at that time now. I still had to walk towards him and get in my truck, and I decided to leave and just, give it some time, see what happens. And I went to the truck, I got in the truck, and I backed out, and I went to close the gates, and I could see Jake was standing right at the end of the driveway. He was just staring at me. So I knew if I got my camera, it would be too late. So I locked the gate and I waved to him. And then I backed out and left, only to be continued when I come back, so that he knew that when I waved to him, I acknowledged him. And after that, I guess I knew about it, right? I just left it be. So I have many groups. It takes about, 7 or 8 groups to make these videos, because you just got one group, you're never going to catch up to the one group all the time. Think about it, right? If you've been paying attention, I have many pictures of different groups, and that's how I'm able to create these videos. So remembering that, the first time when Jake came out and what happened, now that I went to this other spot this summer, I kind of trimmed up that tree break, and he arrived right at the tree break, and I filmed him. Not very long, just at night time I had a little campfire, and he stood exactly where the tree break was, and that was nice. I went there a few days before, hoping to meet up with him, and it was in the middle of the night. I got there, and I put my window down, and I sat there for about an hour, and I thought, oh, maybe I'll catch a couple of Z's. I mean, I gotta wait until it's light. And so I kicked back, and as soon as I started dozing off, something ran right up to the truck in the middle of the night, like dark, in the middle of the bush, trees all the way around. Something ran right up to the truck, and I suspect it was Jake. And I started the truck up, and then I looked at him. Well, I must have scared him off. At the same time, I felt the truck go shake sideways. So what happened, I thought that, I did things wrong. Next time I'll come here during the day. I'll make a small fire in the evening, and I'll invite him to the fire. And he showed up. So I learned that there's ways to do that kind of stuff. You can't just show up. You got to present yourself, be yourself, do your thing, and then they'll show up if that's what your intention is. So, as far as the Gigantopithecus, that's a whole nother group of giants, separate. I know that Jake knows them because everything that I recorded is in a 20-mile radius. And so all these groups, they know each other. And so far it's been pretty good because I don't go out very much, but when I do, right, I head out to the groups and automatically, if you know anything about them, well, that's how you get these videos. Um, so the Gigantopithecus, I'm not seeing it anywhere on the net. No one's got no pictures of the Gigantopithecus, which makes me the first one to have a real picture. I think that AI is learning off of me rather than I'm learning off of him or that. I noticed that the other day I was just looking something up and I got AI asking me about Bigfoot. And it's like, who's asking the questions here? Then AI starts apologizing to me. I'm starting to think that AI is run by people like me and you, right? Mostly. It's not up and running. Like it'll be up and running for certain things, like if you want to know, like locations and stuff like that. But it's learning off of us as we speak. That's the way I feel about it. So it doesn't know what Bigfoot looks like. It's learning what Bigfoot looks like. I don't think AI can turn around and tell you everything you want to know. I think that you'll run into problems where it'll say like it's tropical or stuff like that, depending on the picture. It's still learning about Gigantopithecus, Bigfoot, because just people don't know what it looks like. People don't know that from experience. It's a whole different thing. Like taking a picture and showing it, two different things. But it's taught me that I can tell when there's a fake picture or a fake video. I mean, you can say you got like the 10 best hits, you know. And that might seem like one little tiny piece in there, but they're claiming it as, 10 best pictures of Bigfoot. I can tell when I'm looking at a piece of video if it's real or not. Hopefully in the future that AI will be able to recognize that, but I don't think it will ever be able to recognize what a real Bigfoot looks like for years. There's not enough real evidence out there. Uh, but locations, I guess AI would be picking up on where these things are. And I mean, they've always been there. Just the information's being shared now. So it's looking like something's coming down, but no, it's always been there. I can go there in the summer and take some pictures. Being in the Bigfoot field and doing the research is it's all right, but it's a world of its own, and it's an actual lonely world of its own, and it'll follow you. So if you don't want that kind of thing, I wouldn't suggest go look for Bigfoot because if you get too deep into it, seems like it's just you and him. So I do have more footage. I am not feeling like making any videos right now. I made a lot of videos without talking. I think some of this talking is good. Um, I'm not talking with any other channels or sharing anything with anybody. I've shared one little tiny piece. That was it. A little tiny piece of Jake, and that was it. Besides that, I haven't shared anything with anybody. There's just this channel here that I have, and well, maybe someday this will be all put on a computer. Because as we speak, I mean, it's only on chips right now. So if I was to put these chips into a computer, probably would be better pictures. And this is like a rough copy of my channel. So yeah, the group came out, and that's when I learned that Sasquatch walk like us, but not all the time. And they walk like a straight line. So like us, they'll be standing, but like in a straight, very straight line. Nothing like how we walk. And I think that sharing these videos kind of gives you an idea what a Bigfoot looks like. They don't all look the same. I find that the Sasquatch have a lot of looks like humans in the face, but the Bigfoots, well, they look different, a bit more hairier. I'm not noticing any Bigfoots with long hair. It's mostly been short. Um, Quite a few years ago, there I had a face-to-face encounter in Whiskard, and his hair wasn't very long, and he was like, I would say like 12 or maybe 14 feet tall. I felt like, you know, so small. And it was a face to face encounter, and it stopped me from going in the bush for a couple of years, which now I can go, I prefer to go where it's most scary. If it's telling me not to go there, I kind of like go there. And that's where I get my videos. So if there's a place where, you're not feeling like, you shouldn't go, you feel like there's an issue there of energy, that's where I've been. Yeah, so this is, you know, Jake, where, Todd had put a branch on his face, covered up, and got other pictures here, Jake. Let's see. So you can tell that, Jake doesn't have no branch on his face. Jacob's family right there. It's pretty well you can't trust anybody with your stuff because they're going to talk about it and do what they want with it. It's like they created it. I know all about Jake, okay? There's someone that makes a story up, well, it's going to reveal itself in time. And I have no intentions on going back to see Jake, but who knows what the summer brings up. So these Bigfoots, there's a lot of videos out there. AI's learning about it, and I don't think it's going to know all about it for a long time. It's only going to learn off of whatever we teach it. And I think it's learning off me right now. So that's my thoughts about that. And Christmas coming all up, and thought, hey, I'll make this little video because I don't know when I'll be making another video. I don't care if my algorithms go down. I really don't care about it. Not right now. Maybe later. I don't know. But when it's cool like this, I prefer not to go in the bush. And I'll be looking into my data and pushing out some more videos in the future. And if you're interested, subscribe. Real story, true story, real pictures, organic. That's what it is. When you live in the bush or stay in the bush as much as I did, mind your business. You learn a lot by being quiet, by being alone. And yeah, it'll reflect off you when you get back to town after a while. And you'll see that, the Bigfoot world, that's a whole different thing. You can't, carry that around with you like a wallet or something that you put away, something that you know about, and try to understand why am I so involved with the Bigfoot world? Why do I talk about it? Why do I show my pictures? Some days I think, why did I ever start this? Well, I'll tell you why I started it. I'll say it myself. It's because when I was 8 years old, I had a face-to-face encounter and I didn't tell anybody. And when I turned around and did tell somebody, it really didn't affect them as much as how I felt. So I thought I'd go back and take some pictures, and that's what I did this last couple of years. Took some pictures because it's not a hallucination. It's not. It's the real deal. And if you respect them, they'll respect you. I do understand that, if you're going to go out there, you might not know if you're doing something that they don't like. Like myself, I learned everything should be organic. Like even like if you had a camp and there's mice, some people want to put poison out, kill the mice. I understand that. But for myself, I prefer not to have that. I'd rather have like a live bait, a cage, catch my mice, walk over there and release them. When other people say, oh, the mouse is following you back there and he's going to be right back in the trailer. You know what? Or camp or whatever it is. That's okay. Because when you're alone out there, that other person's not there. And you know that the Bigfoots are around, and there's babies around at night time because they're comfortable being around when you're there alone. That those baby Bigfoots are they eat mice, and if you poison the mice and they eat that, the bigger Bigfoot are gonna get pissed off because you're making their babies sick. I think that falls in the line about them getting a bit upset at times because these things can occur if you use poison bait for mice. It'll transfer into the mice, and then it'll transfer into the babies, and then next thing you know, you got a big group discussion going on because of the side effects. What's happened? So when I was young, like when I was a kid, I didn't know. My dad was polluting a little bit, I guess, on his own property. The Bigfoots didn't like that. He couldn't talk about it really out freely. But my dad was a jack of all trades, master of none. Worked at the mine. He worked at home most of the time. That's what he'd do, on and off work. He'd always be doing something. And I think the Bigfoots got pissed off of him because he used to recycle a lot when I was a kid. He recycled, he did burns and stuff like that. And I don't think Bigfoot likes that. And that's what happened. And I caught wind of it. So I know how much recycling pollutes. When you do recycle, it pollutes. So if you're going in an organic place and you start doing something like this, well, it's going to upset uh, the surroundings. So if you noticed new characters in this in these shorts and these videos that I had put out, that's because they're other groups close, not far by. No, not more than one group. So the pictures reveal that through the shorts and videos, and I think there's like one, two different places, like where I got two different other groups, and I've been back to a few other places where I've been around certain groups, bigger groups, bigger monkeys. So I think that it takes many groups to make videos of groups. It's not just one group. I have many groups. If you see two faces in one picture, that's a group on its own on another day. And you see another picture, that's another day. You see another picture, that's another day. That's the way that works. It doesn't happen all in one day. Over time, and you start noticing which ones are, kind of sticking around in that area, and I'll catch another picture of it. Maybe not as clear, but when I'm going through my studies, I can tell which character is which character, and I think that the environment, the surroundings, it will reflect off them. And if it's blue skies, you'll see, their reflection from the blue skies, and you'll see pink and blue and white. And if you're in a bush and it's all green, you'll see them, and then you'll see, like, they're green, and like everything else around them's green, and they're green. And so I have to enhance, the pictures a little bit. Like what I mean is add a little bit of maybe light or contrast to bring the picture out a little bit more. Because otherwise it would be like very hard for anybody to see anything. So I take pictures because I see things, not because I'm guessing things. But I have a lot more experience than a lot of others. So how would you determine that I knew what I was doing? Well, the only way you can do it really is say, "Hey, hi, how you doing?" There you are. There you come. There he was. Other than that, um, trail cams haven't took these pictures for me. I personally took them myself. So when I decide that I'm gonna go see a Bigfoot, it's like a personal relationship. I have a personal relationship, spiritual relationship. That's part of it. And I ask, I receive, and I show, and I tell. And before I leave, everything's got to feel right. Otherwise, I know that I can go out there and just waste a bunch of time. So everything that I have done was in a spiritual realm, I would say. And Jesus Christ, my Savior, God is my higher power, and that's my relationship. That's how I move forward. If I want to change, I have to ask because I can't do it myself. I've noticed I can't do anything. I can't do anything myself. I gotta depend on my Savior. Tell me. Nobody else is going to be there for me. So it's my pleasure to give you a piece of myself that you know what's out there. And if you treat things right, they'll treat you back right. That's what I know. Hope you enjoy the video. I'll be coming back on sometime. I'm not sure when, but if not before Christmas, a Merry Christmas to you and a Happy New Year. And bless you. Thank you. Bye.